Could you tell us, John, about the classes that you taught here?
I taught two classes. I taught a shawl design class to about 10, 11 people. And it was great fun. The people who took the class, by the time we had finished the first hour, every single person had committed to paper the start of their shawl design. So we'd gone through the basic design principles that were important, looking at function, looking at technique, looking at yarn weights, colours, and they'd made design decisions for themselves. They'd started to design specific motifs for their shawls, whether it be lace work, colour work, brioche work, and they started knitting. And by last night, when Lise left, she had a shawl that was about 8-10 inches high and 8-10 inches wide. You know, her initial idea didn't work. She ripped it out, she started again, adjusted it slightly, and what she has growing on her needles is really, really nice. So I'm sure that'll work well. The Tunisian crochet class, the people who wanted to do that had never seen that type of work before, and by the end of the following night, one of our retreat folk, Margaret, had not only finished the work for class, I had given them a pattern at the end of it for a notions pouch, and she had a finished notions pouch ready to sew up when she gets home. She was really, really pleased with it, and the quality of the work she produced was amazingly good. Having popped into the other classes to take photographs when they were happening, I didn't see anyone in any of the classes struggling or lacking for help from the tutors, because class numbers were a nice manageable size. I think the biggest set class numbers was 11, which is, you know,
it's a good number.
Session, it's a good number.
Yeah. So tell us a few things about your classes here and the feedback that you got from people taking them.
Well, I run two classes, but they were both the same. So it's the class I've been running since before I started designing on Norwegian colourwork knitting. So we're just working from a core design that I developed for that has since been quite a hit on Ravelry, and I developed multiple patterns following that. So I just gave people 3 different versions, so to speak, that they could choose from. So there were different designs we worked up, and we kind of just start bottom up by maybe introducing magic glue to those who don't know that, even though traditionally Norwegian knittings have been made with double pointed needles. I have a few sort of tips and tricks that can help the colour work and short circumference process a bit easier if you do magic glue than do those tricks that I have. And then introducing continental knitting for those that are not familiar with that, which can also help with how to hold both yarns at the same time. Also simultaneously not really pushing that, because I know myself when I was learning colourwork knitting, and I did knit continental already, I still had a hard time holding both colours. So if people want to like drop one colour, pick up the other, then that's completely fine. So it's very much something I tailor to each individual in my class, and I think that worked out well. Also, I wasn't quite sure for how long I had each class and if it would be the same individual, so I was kind of winging it a little bit, and it worked out really well, and I sort of, like I said, adapted it to the individuals in the different classes. So the first class I had, there were a lot of people that didn't know each other from before, and so that was me sort of talking more from a sort of teacher's point of view. Whereas the other one, both being workshops, but the other one there were more people that knew each other, or at least over the few hours that we've been here had gotten to know each other. It was more of a chatty group, so people still got through the bits of challenges of the class and the workshop aspects, but it was very fun.
And how about your classes? Could you tell us what was taught and what the feedback was from the people that you taught?
To my face, they've all said nice things. I don't know what they've been saying behind my back. I hope it matches what they say to me. You never know. I've taught 3 different types of class here. My flagship, which is demystifying double knitting, which is giving people who've never done any double knitting before the understanding of the mechanics and how they can work the reversible 2-sided fabric that double knitting is. And I've also taught a new class which is called Strantarsia. Strantarsia is a technique for adding a patch of stranded colour work to a piece working around. So it's like a cross between stranded work and intarsia. It takes elements of both, and that's a technique I've pioneered myself, and I'm really excited about that. It's gone very well. It's the second time I've taught that class, so it's still very new. And then with a few people who had more of an understanding of double knitting, we've talked quite in depth about shaping techniques. So we've done lots of work on decreases and increases, but also the concept behind it. I call them shaping techniques, but increases and decreases, they're building blocks of lace. Double knitted lace is where it's at.
Okay.
My first thoughts were at the start of the week when I arrived. I was really worried. I was scared, never having attempted anything like this, that people wouldn't gel, that some personalities might clash. I wondered if all of the classes would run smoothly. I was worried about people's flights and transfers coming in on time. But everything ran relatively smoothly, apart from poor Nathan's delays. A delay on the way here and a delay on the way back. So, Nathan, we feel for you, and we're really, really sorry, but we're glad you got home safely.
He got a good welcoming committee, though, from a few of us at 2 a.m. in the morning.
He did.
So that
We sat and waited for him.
Yeah.
So the entire group, a bunch of people who knew one another from the iVKN, and a group of people who just knew the tutors through their podcasts, decided they would all sign up and say that they wanted to come. And they travelled from Australia, from Canada, from Norway, from Sweden, from England, from Scotland, and from Greece, all to be together to knit for a week in the sun. And there you go, another plane overhead.
Yeah, we've had lots of planes in these interviews. That's all right.
And I have to say, the atmosphere and within the retreat personnel, the tutors, the knitters, the partners, has been absolutely wonderful. Everyone's contributed something to making the whole thing positive, whether it was sharing photographs, swapping email addresses to pass on information, helping one another to get to grips with new techniques. It's just been, it's ticked over so smoothly. I'm really happy with the way it has gone. The feedback I've been getting, like you, Phil, when I've been filming, has been really, really positive. People have loved the location that was chosen. They seem to like the Rhodian sun. It's a place where there's never a great amount of stress. It's not on the main tourist trail in Rhodes, so it has a slightly older, quieter clientele who want to come, read, play backgammon, sit by the pool, and that lends itself quite nicely to running a knitting retreat here. The chance to sit and knit in the terrace here in the dappled shade is fine, or to sit in the open-air dining room is fine. Nobody chose to knit by the pool this time during class, but they were knitting by the pool in their suntan time, which was wonderful to watch. So no, for me, everything has run smoothly. It was lovely to come back to Greece, where all of the things which I like to eat seem to taste even better. And I think that's just the quality of produce in the Mediterranean generally. But here on Rhodes, the quality of the fruit and vegetables is second to none. And we've been lucky to have two nice cooks, in Sula and Maria, here in the kitchen, who like to take things that are fairly traditional, put them out for the customers, and if they need to adjust them slightly to suit an international palate, they will adjust them a little. But it's all... I love the fact that when you go to eat, everything's cooked to order.
Yes.
You know, you might wait for a slightly longer time to get your meal, but if you've asked for something special, it will appear. Our vegans and our vegetarians on this trip have been absolutely blown away by the quality of food available for them, and I'm really, really happy that worked out for them. Because I worry that people with special dietary requirements sometimes in some places don't get what they need. The knitting seems to have been great. Nathan threw in an additional class to what he had originally agreed, and he put in his Strontarsia class for anyone who wanted it on Thursday morning, which was a wonderful opportunity, and a lot of people took up that chance. So Nathan, thank you very much for offering to do that. The retreat attendees definitely enjoyed it.
So speaking of people that you did know from before, obviously from other festivals that you may have met up at, or from online, from our international virtual knit nights, how was it to meet new people and people that maybe you had only met up until that point online and not in person? How was that experience? Because myself and Eleni went through that with all of you, because we met all of you in person for the first time.
Honestly, I don't always, like, my mind feels like I already met everyone because of the International Virtual Knit Night. So I have to think really, like, thoroughly, like, who was it that I actually hadn't met before, and who have I met before? Because
Benedicte is new to the group, Linda is new, Margaret, Helen, most of the others, I think you knew us either from festivals or from the iVKN. So, I mean, many people say that it's not awkward meeting people you've already had some kind of online interaction with. How would you...
No, I agree. It feels like I already met them. That's kind of why I'm struggling so much with saying, oh yeah, I'd met Aileen and I'd met Carola, but I hadn't met you and Eleni. I'm like, yes, I have. Sure, I have.
Yeah,
You know?
It's a weird and nice feeling at the same time. And we just wanted to get his impressions on this whole experience, on the concept of a knitting retreat, on his impressions of Greece. So Nathan, tell us your first ideas of how it's been so far.
It's been lovely. I think this is my third knitting retreat that I've been on. I was in one in Manchester and one in County Mayo in Ireland last September, and then this one as well. I love the idea of just being around people who understand why we do what we do, why we like it, what we like about it. You don't have to explain yourself when you're surrounded by other knitters, and that's been amazing. Coming to Greece, and particularly to Rhodes, has been an unusual location for a knitting retreat. And at first, when I first heard about it from John, I was thinking, golly, hot weather, knitting, they're not necessarily the types of things that would go together particularly well. But it's just been really relaxed. It's been really... I've only been here for 3 nights, so this is my 4th day, but my first day I arrived at 2 in the morning, so I didn't see it. This is my 3rd day. And even though it's been quite full on, I've had lots of teaching to do, I still feel that I've had time to just relax and chat to people. Some people I knew before, some people I've known through the virtual world, like you, and not met you in the flesh before, and some people who are completely new to me. So it's been a really lovely experience of, as these things always are, it's the people. It's not just the knitting.
The funniest thing, that's easy. The funniest thing has got to be watching a crowd of adults aged between early 20s to mid 40s running like 5-year-old children on a scavenger hunt.
I think I was running the most like a 5-year-old child.
Yes.
But that was to trick everyone to... we were behind. I'm assuming you're referring to your little treasure hunt which you organised.
So a little treasure hunt where they had to find the components for a drop spindle and then spin some yarn enough to span the pool and then use it to knit an animal. The crafting Olympics. It was good fun. It was a really hilarious night. Everyone seemed to have fun with it. The bit that will stick in my mind as the most outlandish thing on a knitting retreat was 80% of the knitters sitting around a table playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep, we had
That was
Martin,
wonderful.
our non-knitter, the significant other of Corolla, who kindly organized that. Most of us were playing for the first time, and I can attest to that being really good fun.
It was super fun. So I know that the knitters had fun. I know that their partners and significant others had fun. And as long as they all get home safely, that'll make me a happy man.
And if you had to pick out one memory from Rhodes, because obviously the retreat is coming to its end today, tomorrow, what would that memory be, the one that sticks in your mind the most?
Honestly, I might just remember just chilling around the foyer or the dining area with knitting and people. It's like the thing we've done the most. It's not just one single moment. It's kind of the main theme throughout.
And socializing, I guess, with the rest of the group. And if you had to pick out one moment that remains not necessarily impressive, something that will stick with you from your stay here, whether it was a funny moment, something you learned, an entertaining moment, what would that be?
It's absolutely going to be working with my teammates last night, spinning enough yarn to cross a swimming pool out of some fluff and a chopstick and a piece of wood, and then having to knit a giraffe out of it. We managed it. And so we had 2 spindles on our team of 4, and Ellie and I were, Ellie Skeindeer over there. Ellie and I were operating 1 spindle, I was doing the drafting and she was doing the spinning underneath. And we had Carmen and Lee. No,
Carmen was on my team.
Pom, of course. It was Pom, who's not here with us at the moment. Carmen and Pom were operating the other spindle. Did you have a team thing going on as well? Did you have one at the top and one at the bottom?
I was helping Benedicta with the spinning at the bottom, so...
We had so much fun doing it. We had to spin enough yarn to cross the width of the swimming pool of the hotel. And then we were given an animal that we had to then knit a 2D shape of an animal, and our team had the giraffe.
And I think it was unanimously voted as the nicest, most presentable animal.
I think we were more inclined to want to make it nice rather than quick.
Okay.
So
we have footage of all that, photos and videos, so we will be adding that for our viewers to see.
It was very much a team thing. This is what I loved about it so much. So we had the 4 of us were working the 2 spindles together as teams. When we were crossing the width of the swimming pool, we tied the 2 pieces of yarn together that we created, and we walked. One person had to walk one side of the pool, the other had to walk the other with the yarn
without falling in.
Without falling in. And then when we knitted our giraffe, we all took the upheavals. I worked the head and the neck. We had 2 people working a pair of legs each, and Ellie worked the body of the tail, and then we sewed it all together, and we had something that looked quite giraffe-shaped. We were very happy.
Would you recommend this to someone who's thinking about it, like the concept of a knitting retreat, whether it's to be held again here in Rhodes, in another part of Greece, in another country? What would you say about that?
I mean, honestly, I've never been on a knitting retreat before, so for me it's a difficult comparison to make. But I would recommend this based on having only been to this, and also because it's really hot, and I'm not usually a person who can handle the heat.
But I think you coped very well.
I think it's mostly thanks to kind of Greek sensibility to build places taking the heat into account as opposed to the UK. So it's actually been manageable just because of the infrastructure of, there's a ceiling here where it's south facing, so we're not sat in the sun, there's aircon, and there is, things are kind of made for people who maybe aren't that good with heat, so it's been good for me as well.
All right, so we thank Ellie for her insight and thoughts on this retreat. we wish her a safe journey home. We will be seeing Ellie today and tomorrow until Eleni and myself leave, and we will definitely be seeing her on iVKN as she's one of our regulars. So we'll see you again soon. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you.
Finally, what would you say to people that would think of doing this, who have not done such a knitting retreat, whether it's John, aka Beardychiel, that may do it again, or whether it may be in another part of Greece, who knows, or abroad? What would your advice be to them?
On this particular retreat, I haven't seen anybody get cross or grumpy. That's kind of rare on a holiday, particularly on a holiday where you don't all necessarily know each other. There's been no tension, there's been no friction. If there has been, I've not seen it. I don't think there has been. I've not seen anyone get grumpy. And you know, when you get tired and you get hungry and things don't necessarily go so well, it's easy to snap at somebody. That hasn't happened here. I think that's a combination of a summer holiday and knitting and nice people. So why not?
So on that note, we'd like to thank Nathan for letting us know his thoughts. We wish him a good journey this evening, and we will be in touch through the virtual world as we were before,
very soon.
and hopefully in person again. Thanks, Nathan. Bye. So on a final note, and before we thank you for your time, what would be a message you'd like to send to people seeing this video, and what would you say to people who are thinking of joining a knitting retreat in general?
If you get a chance to go on a knitting retreat, go, because 99 times out of 100 you're going to make a new friend, you're going to find a new technique that you didn't know before, or you're going to take a technique that you feel a little unsure of and polish it to a very high standard so that you can achieve what you want from your knitting.
All right, John, we'd like to thank you once again and wait for the third plane during this interview to pass over. So we'd like to thank you very much for your time and for your efforts and for making this reality for many of us. We take back good memories which we want to share with our fellow knitters, our fellow iVKNers in the knitting and crafty community.
Yeah.
And we'll be seeing you soon through your podcast and of course through the iVKN. So we wish you well, and we wish you a safe journey home. Thanks a lot, John.
Keep happy, keep knitting.
Thank you. Bye.